So this ring is just north of 6.5. We'll take it up to a 7.25 using burnishing, sanding, and the ring stretcher. So here we go. First thing we do with any casting is we make certain there's no anomalies on the inside. So if there's a sizing bar, pay special attention to that. Then you give it a pass or two to make sure there's no bubbles or weird flat spots, any anomalies. Okay, so now we've got a reasonably round ring. We're gonna take it over to the stretcher and very gently we're gonna nudge it up. Now there's really two rules with the stretcher. One is feather touch, because this thing has a tremendous amount of power. And the second is whatever we do to one side, we're gonna do to the other side. So, watching my sizes here on the expanding mandrel, I like to loosen it up first, okay? And we just feather touch it. Fingertips, very light. Very light. And we want to make sure it lands in roughly the same area when we process both sides, all right? So let's just barely nudge this up. I've taken castings, even white gold castings that are extraordinarily hard. If you are patient enough and the distribution of metal is even enough around the ring, you could take them up over a full size. Okay, so now we're probably getting pretty close to a 7. So what I do at this point is I want to take this sprue, which is just clipped, and I want to make it flat. And the reason for that is when I take the rawhide mallet and I start pushing it down the mandrel, I don't want to hit this sprue. You have a lot of leverage to bend the shank. So we're going to take it over to the sanding machine. Take it down in height, and the reason we're leaving some is there's a possibility we may use that material to basically planish, and we'll actually spread the ring. Oftentimes we don't have to do that. That's really only when something is severely undersized. So now that I've stretched it, you can look on the inside and you can see where the mandrel, the expanding mandrel, has hit. It's shinier. So we're going to sand it again. And then what I'll do, usually as a matter of course, is I will take my medium burnisher that I brought you guys a bunch of those. I'll take that and I'll hammer the inside under magnification. So let me do that really quick. You want to pause it in? Okay, now I've thoroughly hammered the inside of this shank, and were I to stop now, if I just sanded it and rounded it, it would easily be a 7 full. But let's not stop there, let's keep going. Let's take it up higher. Bring it back over to the stretcher. And just feather touch. I'm watching where this goes. I'm just over the 7 at this point. Okay, check it on both sides. Make sure it's even. Now we take it over here. Now we're going to use the rawhide mallet to push it down the mandrel. You don't have to hit that hard. If you've got it relatively snug against the mandrel, a very light tap generates a lot of force. Even tapping it lightly like this on the softer metals, the platinums, 18 yellow, 14 yellow, you will take a comfort fit inside and you will flatten it slightly. So here we are, about 1.5 millimeters to 2 millimeters ahead of the 7 1/4, okay? Which isn't enough, but we're getting closer. Okay. We're going to sand it again, and then we're going to peen the sprue. So. Now it's perfectly round. But we've got a little bit of extra material at the sprue here to work with. So, what we're going to do, first you make sure it's snug on the mandrel. And then we're going to spread the ring using the sprue material, okay? The one rule here, whatever I do, I want to keep track of however many times I hit it and use about the same amount of force when I flip it over. So what I do to one side, I'll do to the other side. So I usually like to go in sets of 8. Everybody's different, but 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. This is usually in my head. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Flip it. One, two, three, four, five, six, seven, eight. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Now, sometimes when you take a large sprue and you beat it down, you will find that certain areas get a little bit thinner. Oftentimes right here in the corners on the edges of the sprue. And what I do is I check my work under magnification. If I need more metal here, I tack a tiny bit of metal in the corners, which is often the case. So, sand it again. Check the size. 7 1/4 is what we're looking for. There we go. Just shy of 7 1/4. Ready for polishing, and that'll get it up the rest of the way. And that's it. And that's how we get a ring up.